Yes, ma'am.
I've always heard the term globalism and knew sort of what I thought it meant, but but recently, in the last year or two, we've seen what globalism really means, and to turn our sovereignty over to the WHO or the UN or whoever, which is what's being politically done. How are you going to stop that? I mean, that's, you have these things, but there is such an underground, a deep state that is, pushing these things.
What's your name?
Linda Grafing.
So, Linda, the way you stop it is on day one, when I'm president, we're going to take that WHO treaty, we're going to tear it up and throw it in the trash can. It is done. And you know how you know I'll do that? Because in Florida, I work with my own legislature to pass legislation to say, regardless of what Biden tries to do with it, in Florida, we don't recognize that WHO treaty. We are not going to go down that road. And we've also made sure, going after a lot of the things that these elites, these international elites want to do, like ESG. So ESG, they call it environment, social governance, but all it is basically a pretext to be able to use big corporations to advance a left-wing agenda. And so they want to do things like kneecap fossil fuels, go after Second Amendment, all these other things. So in Florida, we kneecapped ESG. We eliminated any ESG considerations in our pension. We banned the use of social credit scores by financial institutions, and we ensured that Floridians had protection against discrimination by woke banks. So, and these are things, and then we've also passed legislation, and I'll ensure this dies federally, against a central bank digital currency. Have you guys heard about what this is? So central bank digital currency, what they want to do with it is they want to eliminate cryptocurrency. They want to eventually eliminate cash and go all with this central bank digital currency. Now, why would they want to do that? Well, because they would be able to control what goes on. And so we've seen this. So the Fed has said, well, we don't have this yet. We're going to consult with Congress and the executive branch. Ideally, we'd even get authorization. So they're basically saying that they think they can do it without getting Congress's authorization. And I don't think Congress should authorize it. I'd veto it as president. But to just unilaterally do it. So in Florida, we passed legislation nullifying any attempt by the Fed to impose a central bank digital currency. We're just not going to recognize it in the state of Florida. And you will see people at places like the World Economic Forum in Davos, right? They will be very honest. It's like they got a really bad agenda, but I mean, they're honest about it. And these guys will sit there and they'll say, if you do central bank digital currency, these guys like it because they say that will be able to police what they consider to be undesirable transactions. Maybe you're buying too much fuel for their likes. Maybe you're buying too much ammunition. They don't like that. What they will use that for is to impose a social credit system on our entire economy. And you would basically be powerless to stop it. Now, I started pointing this out many months ago, and then all of a sudden, like every liberal outlet, like, Washington Post, CNN, all this stuff, DeSantis is peddling conspiracy theories. And so when they do that you're hitting that soft underbelly, because they wouldn't be running interference if it was really just a bogus conspiracy theory. You just shrug your shoulders and move on. No, this is what they want to do. This is what China wants to do, and China does do. So so for me, day one, CBDC dies in the United States. We'll make sure that dies. And I've said in Florida, and this will be true for the United States, that with me in charge, things like the World Economic Forum and those policies, they will be dead on arrival. Anybody?